What is up, everybody? It's Lawrence again. So Nike just released something called the exp-x14. The exp stands for experiment, and x14 is actually a nod to React cushioning and the code name that they use internally at Nike when they were developing the React cushioning. exp-x14 is a lifestyle design sneaker based on a lot of the technology and R&D that they have done in the last several years for running technology in general. I would say it's very similar to the Vapor Street, which is over here in terms of style and look. Before we begin, if you watch this video and like it, it'd be great if you gave me a thumbs up. If you want to watch other content in the future and plenty of other things that will be coming up from me, hit the subscribe button. Beyond the fact that it does look like a Vapor Street, it has definitely hints of the Zoom Fly SP and many other elements that we're seeing recently from Nike over the last 9 months. The actual shoe is actually based on a completely different shoe that was released at a different time period, and that was called the Nike Zoom Drive. And the Nike Zoom Drive you can see over here, and that's a late 90s running shoe. So let's get into the review. Let's start with the upper like we always do. So this is a translucent upper, which is where it looks like the Zoom Fly SP. It's really, really thin, really, really light. I can't really describe it. It feels and looks like plastic, but it's not, because it's pretty breathable. But the difference between this and the upcoming React 87 is it's not see-through. So even though there's a translucent upper over here, there's actually an internal liner that's on in the front over here and on the sides and all around the shoe that's done in black. So when you put your foot in, you actually can't see the sock liner, which I think is really, really good. Just because I don't know exactly how I'm gonna wear the translucent uppers. It's actually one of the reasons why I don't have a pair of the Fly SPs. Going on to the rest of the upper, if you look at over here, there is a bunch of dots or striation marks over here done in white, and that's just basically printed on. Then what I really do like about the shoe is the way the Flywire comes through. And the Flywire comes through through these eyelets that are over here, done in a white oval. Moving along to the back of the upper, you're going to see the Just Do It symbol over here. This release is part of the Just Do It pack, where they release Air Max 90s, Air Max 1s, and several other types of silhouettes with the Just Do It logo all over. Then going to the back over here, you're going to have a neoprene-like material with an orange Nike swoosh. Going to the back of the shoe, you are going to have a suede-like, cheap suede material done in orange over here with the exp-x14 logo done in there. And then finally, you'll see the React upper kind of go into the rest of it. Going to the medial side, you'll see much more of the same. The only difference is that there's numbers printed over here along there where there was a Just Do It. Last thing that I do want to note, if you want to get closer to this, is on the inside of the shoe, so behind the translucent upper, there's a bunch of numbers over there. I don't know what most of them mean. The only one that I know for sure, the same numbers also printed over here. The only ones I know for sure are the N3546, which is represented on the Nike site. It's Steve Prefontaine's fastest mile, which is 3 minutes 54.6 seconds. And it's a nod to its running history in general, and I assume most of these numbers on the inside also do the same. What's also interesting is on the insole, you'll also see even more numbers there that are represented all throughout. Still don't know what those are, so if anybody has any idea what any of these numbers mean beyond the N3546, leave them in the comments below. Then going to the front of the shoe, you are going to see your typical oval lacing over here, done through the Flywire cables that are over here. And then you'll see a suede piece for the tongue that's relatively detachable, and then there's a Nike swoosh over here. Moving to the midsole, you're going to have a complete and utter React midsole, which is nice. What I do like about the React midsole over Boost from a pure aesthetic perspective, so forget the cushioning, is you can actually put different things on it to make it look different. So you're not stuck with that styrofoam. And so the paint over here is to denote the fact that there is a TPU heel counter here for basically springiness. The relatively robust rubber outsole. The reason why this is important is most of the React shoes don't have robust outsoles. And then in the middle, I assume this is for stability purposes, there's going to be a pretty substantial plate here. And I think this might be the TPU plate that's being exposed over here, that you'll be able to see through the paint of orange over there. I have major opinions on this shoe. So I wore it for a full day yesterday. I did about 20 miles of cycling, about 1 mile of just really light jogging in them, just to see them out. Even though it's a lifestyle shoe, I wanted to see how well they fit, and they're phenomenal. I have to say, from a underfoot perspective, this is very similar to the Vapor Street, very similar to the Epic React in terms of cushioning, but There are parts about the upper that I love, and there's parts of the upper that I hate. I did not expect to like this material so much. It's a little softer because of the suede inlay that's inside with the dual layer upper. And so what that ultimately means is that the inside is relatively comfortable and has this kind of cool translucent overlay for really, ability to hold the shoe in and also for design elements. But the ultimate thing that I love about it is actually how breathable it is. I was actually really surprised by that. This is just a really, really great upper that I would say up until you get to the collar area. So what I don't like about this shoe, it feels really, really flimsy around the collar area, so basically around this area over here as well as the back over here, and the tongue itself. None of that is actually that comfortable, and so I feel like I'm flopping around a little bit, and that I don't like that much. But from an overall perspective, I'd say an 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, probably 8.5 out of 10, which is pretty darn high. From a sizing perspective, I would probably go with a half size up if you do have a wide foot for sure. If you have a narrow foot, definitely get true to size, and even half size up if you want a little more room. So whatever typical size you typically get for your Flyknit base materials or Flyknit base shoes, that's what I would probably go with here. I would say that this fit very snug. From an aesthetics perspective, I was actually on the fence about the shoe. I don't necessarily love it. After putting it on foot and feeling how they feel, they really, really grew on me from a style perspective because I didn't really care as much about the style as soon as I got it on foot. So while this is designed as a lifestyle shoe and aesthetics are going to mean a lot, if you love the way these look or you put them on feet and you like the way they look, definitely go after them. I'm probably not going to keep this pair from aesthetic reasons alone. And the reason for that is because of this shoe that's coming out next week called the React 87. That already released in the EU and it's coming out in the US next week on July 13th. I've been waiting for that shoe for a very, very long time. At $120, and the Just Do It pack was actually $130, but $120 for your typical X14 is really, really good. That puts you in the same range as the Odyssey React as well. That's also $120. The Epic React goes up to $150 and the Vapor Streets go up to $180. So from that perspective, a $60 difference between these and the Vapor Streets, these are much, much, much more valuable. I'd say that from a comfort level perspective, you're not getting $60 worth from the Vapor Streets. The only things that are comparable in this price range are going to be the Pure Boost from Adidas as well as the Hover from Under Armour. And I actually don't like either of those shoes, so I definitely go with these. And that's it, guys. That is the EXP Experiment X14 for React. Until next time, peace.